Hello, everyone. Welcome to Critical ReRoll. My name is Matt, and I didn't really think of anything. I had something and I lost it. That's me. I failed.
Hi, I'm Jess, and I find you all very zadashing.
Oh my god.
I can't follow that. Hi, I'm Herky, and I think Caduceus is way better than Molly. Welcome to Critical Reroll!
Oh, man. Let's unpack some stuff right at the top of the
no.
hour. No, it's objectively true, I think.
I don't think it's objectively
Oh,
true.
oh, what has Molly ever done that, like, Kate hasn't already done cooler?
Guys, what? Come on, check your shit before you wreck your shit, bro. Like,
What hasn't Caduceus done?
Yeah.
made flaming
Answer
swords,
me that question.
Have an awesome magic cape.
You don't know that.
It's not magic.
Tarot reading.
You don't know that.
That's it was fake. He said it was fake.
Be an awesome circus performer.
Okay, you got that's one.
Have an interesting secret backstory that could be revealed to him as it was being revealed to us.
That's on the meta game of it all. I don't know. Anyway, so episode 30 is what happened of Critical Role, and this is 106 of this shit show that we do once a week. So what all happened this week, yous guys? Molly's gone. He's not coming back. I'm sorry.
That was a while ago.
I know, but it's nice to remind everyone.
Why are you re-inflicting wounds?
Because
No,
that's
they're
what
not
I do.
wounds. But we're getting some nice, good Caduceus healing.
I'm trying to caterize it. Caterize the wound. Like I've been calling Caduceus Cade because it's a lot easier.
Why not Cad? Because that's...
Yeah, but Cade sounds cooler than Cad. Cad's dumb. Anyway, so they start... I don't have the right notes. They retcon some stuff from the live show, so they kind of jump back to kind of give everybody the time that they need to go through all of the emotions that they have.
Well, because we have Travis and Laura back.
That
and
is
we
the
didn't
main
get to
part.
have them back, so
Yes.
they retcon to allow for that. And I know personally, myself and Kate, who's here in chat, we were both like, but make sure Keg and Bo get together. But just as long as that doesn't get changed, we're good.
What was the good tweet? Like, Bo knows how to tap a keg or something like that? Yeah, so
Can I just say how happy I am that Laura is back, because I miss Jester so much.
I miss all of them. Seeing their faces, hearing them
Mostly
laugh.
just Jester.
Do not retcon the lesbians, never. So what all did they retcon? So they got to talk first off, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to point out that it probably just got missed because like it happens in D&D, and especially on stream stuff, where like we see things and if it doesn't happen like the next day, why did this happen? You forgot about this, but it doesn't matter. There was a woman that was also in the cell with Ford and Jester. What happened to her? Do you remember that? Yeah, there was like an old woman in the cell, and I remember Kate was talking about it, and she's like, yeah, that's totally the Traveler sitting there with Jester. And then we get to this past episode, and like there's no mention of this old lady that was also in the cell with them. So do you guys think it was just forgotten, or do you think...
She vanished
Maybe.
into the ethereal plane, says Sundu.
It's
Yeah,
possible?
because I definitely thought that there was another lady too, or at least another figure somewhere in there. I mean, I'm guessing that she kind of just got out real fast and then escaped with Shikasta, but
Yeah.
Like if it was
They were
important,
using-
Matt definitely would have touched on it again.
Yeah, because like you said, Herc, Matt immediately, when they were like, what about all the other people? He was like, Shikasta has like ushered everyone out. That is very much like him and his role and what he was doing when the very first time they met him, right? Like, does that make sense?
Who knows? Maybe we'll see this mysterious ghost lady again.
We get some confirmation on magical manacles.
Yep.
About like how there is some sort of magic and it apparently knocks you out for at least a day, I think it was said. Regardless of what's going on.
But there was like a code word, like an activation, like a magic word to get them to work.
There was
apparently.
something.
Yeah. Those aren't like real things. I think those are things that Matt made.
Like
but also like that's kind of the ongoing theme of this campaign, because like we've seen those in super early episodes, these manacles that were also on the Manticore. They were on the thing when they did the not the Hour of Honor, the big fight with the giant and other things.
Well, they weren't the same though. Those were just other types of manacles. They weren't specifically magic manacles that put you to sleep.
They were in the big fight though, because the team that had lost their battle, the guys that came out to kind of take them back, like as soon as they approached them, the things fell asleep.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's like now we have a connection between this human or beast trafficking and like the crown, basically, because it's like a city sanctioned thing. And then we also see. Oh wait, what? The manacling. It was funny because they kept saying monocles, and I was thinking like these magical monocles. If I look at you, you fall asleep.
I kept hearing monocles too, and I was like,
And then Caleb tries to like put them in his pocket, but they're big. So yeah, no, it's interesting. I want to know like where the connection is, because now we have the Zorhasian assassin spy people also doing dealings in Shady Creek Run. Which sucked that the two people that noticed it didn't really have any frame of reference for it. Which I thought Jester would have that, because she like talked to them a lot, the assassin guy.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't they all have the same amount based on?
That's what I thought.
Being down there in the sewers with.
So that would have been a good thing for like Yasha and Molly to both see, but they're both gone, or one's asleep and one's, Molly.
Really asleep.
So yeah, I did like the point, because they're getting to RP all this stuff when they're like, we had no choice, we had to come save you guys, and they're like, yeah, you did have a choice, you could have left us. But then I was right, because I said it. I think I said one of the first people that Molly was gonna be their Agent Coulson. I'm like, yes, that's so true. Now they're good guys, good orc guys.
Yeah, so they're even more good. Yeah, because there was a lot of like sweet moments, touching moments. There was a lot of sentiment this episode. Like obviously for three of the people, two who were there, one who was being Jaegered. It was the first time of them learning of their like lost friend, and for the rest of them it was more time to reflect. Yes, they are goodish guys, says Kate. Yeah, they're definitely more. They have more reason to be goodish.
More gooder.
And I thought it was interesting, like you were saying, Matt, when they were pointing out like, no, you could have left us. That Ford very much was like, I would have to lie to say that I didn't think a few times that you might have left us. And we got a lot of, in the early bit of the episode, we got a lot of Ford admitting he felt really guilty about getting caught. And
a lot of like, I should have seen this coming, I should have done this, I should have been able to protect everyone.
Yeah, like, we shouldn't have all been like out there doing that. We should have been like, there's no reason why three of us on guard should have gotten caught like that. But everyone else was like, of course, trying to reassure them, because like it's never the victim's fault. Like,
yeah, well, it's not just that he got caught and had to be saved. He's really just feeling guilt for Molly's death specifically. If he didn't get caught, then Molly probably wouldn't have died. I don't think it's concerned about just rescuing them. It's really specifically about Molly in that manner.
I think that's there as well, but I think he was feeling guilty separate of that, because I think he already started talking about feeling like bad about it before they found out Molly was dead.
Oh yeah, and they heard the fight too, so that had to like hurt them.
Oh yeah,
that was cool, because we were like, there was a controversy, like, can they see them? Can they hear them? And so we got confirmation that they did hear them, which I think is a really cool thing that happened. Well, like, I'm a terrible person. That's not. It was cool to me.
But it's also sad and scary because they
Yeah.
heard the fighting, and then it went away,
Yeah.
and they continued on their way.
So you have like 3 days of
Yeah.
thinking the absolute worst happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't bring that up because, yeah, a normal person would think that all of my friends are dead.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, it's because they said they said we heard you shouting for Molly and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they didn't say that they were fearing worse than that. That they didn't say that they feared that they had all gone down for a while. That never came up as an option. But it's still terrifying and so scary and so ridiculous that they were in those carts and they heard their friends fighting.
And
they're
like
probably
Sam's face, he kind of broke a little bit when they're like, yeah, we could hear you were in the carts, and so like maybe if not had just picked a different cart, we could have gotten them then.
Yeah, because I'm glad it didn't get too bad.
But could you imagine
that,
like? Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut it.
No, I was just gonna say I would worry about not feeling really guilty about like you said, choosing the wrong cart and not succeeding at opening any of the cages. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a bunch of times that she was trying to do stuff and it did not work out.
But now, how much worse do you think it would be if not had picked the right cart and still couldn't get them out? So like you see your friends and then like, I can't save you. It's not working.
Yeah.
We just lost one. At least they could have like communicated a little bit more, I guess. Especially with, I don't know, because message you still have to be able to talk.
Yep.
Yeah, so they couldn't have even kind of, because they were like way too bound and gagged, right?
So all of that does indeed happen.
King Sunday points out a good point. If he had potentially picked the right cart and then gotten Cone of Colded.
Oh yeah, because they would have filled that
Our friends could be
automatically.
dead.
Ooh, there's like so much happening.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So it's almost better, actually, I guess, that not chose the wrong cart and some innocent people died.
Yep.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Wow, good way to put it. Thanks, Sundu. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess maybe before we continue on farther with what actually happened in the episode, we should talk about what happened before the episode, which is that everyone leveled to 6.
Yeah, do I want to go straight into that? I have cool
so.
not cool, but like I have things to post.
One thing I think is interesting is that, Matt's doing kind of like group leveling this time, which normally happens. Like people do everything together and they level up at the same time. But this is one instance where like 2 characters specifically did nothing except for sit in a cage, but still got enough experience to level up. Just it seems like Matt's just keeping them all constant, unlike the first campaign, which is cool and easier, and I'm sure a lot less stress on him.
Yeah, fewer numbers to think about, which is always good.
Yeah.
So we were already planning on doing this, but I do appreciate the person. You didn't put your name, so I can't thank you by name, but they asked, like, in our little forums thing, like, what new toys do they have with leveling up. So let's see if this works. So far, so good, except that shouldn't be there. Don't know what that is. Get rid of that. Cool. Who do you want to start with first? Should we go alphabetically?
How about the golden boy, Caduceus Clay?
Caduceus Clay. The good old Grave Cleric. I don't know if everybody has had a chance to really look at what Grave Clerics can do, but it's pretty cool shit.
It's so cool. It might be my favorite ability.
Yeah, well, like all of them. So real quick, before, like, the stuff that he already had was the Circle of Mortality, which is the whole thing. If he heals somebody at 0 hit points, he does the max healing possible. He also has Spare the Dying as a cantrip. Well, he gets that, and he can cast it from a range and as a bonus action.
Yeah.
He can
which is what we saw, right? We've seen him do Spare the Dying twice and also get those max.
Which
healings.
I didn't know, so that was like the coolest thing.
That was
I try to only play clerics because I love healing, and this might be my new like healing class.
To interrupt you real quick, there's another cantrip we want to talk about, right, Jess?
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Though. We can talk about
We'll go through this. The second thing that he has just innately is, or not innately, but he has the Eyes of the Grave, which he can see or detect undead within 60 feet of him. Do that a number of times up to his Wisdom modifier. His Channel Divinity, all of these things have super extra names, and I love it. His new Channel Divinity thing was Path to the Grave, which you hit somebody, or you choose somebody within 30 feet, and the next hit on them, they are vulnerable to that damage. But now at level 6, he gets Sentinel at Death's Door. Did you want to say what that is, Hurt?
Sure. Basically, as a reaction, when he or a creature that he can see within 30 feet suffers a crit, he can just turn it into a normal hit, just at the snap of his fingers for funsies. And then any other special crit things that would normally happen on the crit, like brutal critical or whatever, is negated and don't happen. And he can do that equal to his wisdom modifier, which is 5. So like,
Whoa.
I hope they don't get crit 5 times in a day, but if they do, he can negate all of them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are talking about clerics, and Matt, you're talking about how they're your favorite class, and I literally have never been interested in playing a cleric until now. Like literally Caduceus is the one that did that for me. Like just this oh my god, this deliciously flavored grave cleric, and now I'm like in love.
You've never been interested in doing like a nature-y cleric since you're so
and that's
druid?
So
Well,
speaking
I
of,
looked at a nature-ish paladin at one point, but not a nature-ish cleric. Sorry,
so
Matt, go ahead.
at the Talks Machina Gen Con panel, I think it was confirmed that Melora is his deity, because he's kind of taking the grave cleric and using Melora as like natural, like the natural decaying of like plant life and organic matter. It's kind of his day, his I don't know, grave stuff, like the death of plants and matter, instead of just like the path from life to death. So he is kind of like a druidy cleric thingy, and a Furbolg, so that's really cool.
Yeah, also Furbolgs are great.
Hell yeah! Yeah, we have a grave cleric in our party, and he snopes the crits, and I swear I saw the DM tear up with frustration. Melora is also an outlawed god, so it's going to be really cool. One of the other questions we got, since we're on the subject, we'll come back to Clay. Do you want to talk about the really, really cool cantrip?
Oh, are we talking about it now?
Yeah, why not? We're already here. We're talking about Clay.
Guys, I have it up. I'm going to read it. I have it up. Okay.
Cool, I have it up too.
I don't know how I missed this, but I totally missed Mercer posting this new cantrip. So basically, it's a Mercer-made cantrip, and it's just, he said it's mostly for flavor, which I fucking love it. I don't even care. So it's decompose. It's a cantrip. It's an action. It's a touch. It's 1 minute. It's a school of necromancy. And basically, you reach out and touch the corpse of a creature, and over the next minute, the corpse begins to rapidly decompose, sprouting fungus and moss as it begins to degrade into compost and mulch. An odd-colored flower or two may also spring from the corpse in this time. Applicable requirements for resurrection are unaffected by this decomposition. Oh my god, I love it. I'm quiet now? God damn, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I turned you up on my end. You should be good.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I just love it so much, and I love that, like, the premise that, like, we're going to get, how much are we going to get to see Caduceus just going over and, like, going up to bodies and just being like, poke, 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 boop, boop, boop. It's just like, because it's a cantrip.
He would literally do that old song. He would go like, mushroom, mushroom, and then badger, badger, badger to get more mushrooms.
I love that it's for flavor, because he then makes tea out of all of the bodies. So
so it is literally and figuratively for flavor.
Yeah, but we already saw him doing that, because all of the creatures that were dead in the house after they killed Lorenzo, he had gone through and cast Decompose on all of them, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like collecting stuff, all these different.
And it's just funny, like, how quickly everyone accepted that they're drinking like dead people tea, because the day of, or the next morning, he's like making them all breakfast, and then Jester's like, yeah, he makes dead people tea, or somebody's like, he makes dead people tea, and he's like, well, to be fair, we're kind of 2 rounds into it already.
Yeah, and I love that, like, Bo was like, oh, you know, that's a whole like thing, you could probably open a shop, like. And then I was like, what would the name of Caduceus's Dead People Tea Shop be?
So there's the first game I guess we're going to play.
Guys in chat, what would Caduceus's Dead People Tea Shop be called? I was thinking Cemetery.
Okay.
Disintegrate?
Disintegrate. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not as good. Oh, mortality. Oh, Kate, you win.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Kate, you're
Yeah,
so much.
that's pretty
Soylent
good.
Green
So much-
tea. Soylent Green is people.
Good job, guys.
What could another one be? I'm mad I don't have anything. Granted,
Yeah,
we did
what
just
would-
think of this.
What would a dead people tea be called, guys? If you think of them later, tweet them out, because I think it's a fun game.
Tea ceased? Nah, that's not good.
Yeah,
Humanity.
No,
Humanity.
can't do that.
That's pretty good.
humanity. Tea with your friends. Tea compose.
Maybe like not oolong for this world.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, we gotta go through them.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. Well, cool.
Anyway.
So that's what Caduceus has.
I'm just so
next
excited. I'm
person.
so excited to see that. Sorry.
What's
and
another
also him
cool one?
cooking with all this stuff he finds.
We can talk about Yasha's real quick. So Yasha at level 6 has Fanatical Focus. So the divine power that fuels your rage. Oh, I spelled your wrong. Don't look at it, everybody. Can protect you. If you fail a saving throw while you're raging, you can re-roll it, but you must take the new roll. And you can use this, and then for some reason it gets cut off. You can use it once per rage, is the thing that got cut off.
She also gets to rage one more time, so she's up to 4.
4 rages.
Yeah. Nothing too
That's rage.
crazy. I mean, barbarians. They do barbarians. But it's cool. Yeah. Yep.
Barbarians, retweet if you
Oh,
agree.
and then did we talk about how the fact that all except for 2 of them rolled max HP or something like that?
Yeah, I have their
Yeah.
stats popped up. The one that they didn't show stats for was Ford, so I still only have his level 5 stats, but add whatever his max would be for that. So what are Warlocks are a D10, right? And they
Yeah,
so he would
6
get
plus 4, 10.
Yep.
10,
So
well, no, 10 plus
50
4
or 65.
14. Yeah.
He'd be at 65 max, I
Yeah.
guess.
Because Mercer specifically said Yasha got 11 new points, and which I don't even think was necessarily her max.
I think he said she rolled an 11 on her
Oh.
D12. Yeah, so she was
Oh,
like
so
close
she-
to max, but not
Damn.
actually max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's at
Yeah.
68
So-
total now. So that's what Yasha gets. Not as a rogue, all you really get at level 6 is another expertise to use. So now she can pick 2 more proficiencies and gain expertise, which is double your proficiency modifier to that roll.
That's good though, because Not has some very bad, like Not.
Well, and
has
she could
failed
do
at
it-
some very inappropriate, some very important times, and I just
And
like,
this
I love Not.
This can be used for your thieves tool, so she can have expertise with her thieves
Good.
tools.
Yeah. I mean, she's not going to get expertise in like deception or something. So like she's going to be bad at that forever. And even if she does have expertise in it, that just means she's going to have like a +1 instead of like a -1 on her
Well,
roll.
still, anything's better than a negative on a stat or a skill roll. I have a character who has a -1 to wisdom, but I have expertise in perception, so I have like a +6. So that's good. Or
I don't know what
+5.
that's like. I have a lot of characters with a lot of negative stats.
Next,
I never roll characters well, ever.
Jester has some fun
Some
stuff.
fun.
She
It does, I
has
like
a new channel divinity called Cloak of Shadows.
Oh yeah, look, when she tried to use that, she's like, "Look what I can do," and then it was like, "Boop, boop, done."
Yup.
And it's because it only lasts 12 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, it's until the end of your next turn. Why did all of these get cut off? I'm super curious. That's weird. Well, try new
So
things.
yes,
that
as
didn't
an
work.
action, you can become invisible until the end of your next turn. Standard invisibility rules apply. It's cool though. You
It
can
is.
like go hidden and then come out and sneak attack when she takes a level of rogue.
She
Which-
totally will.
Which is related to one of the questions we got. Can I read it? Can I read it? Can I read it?
Absolutely.
Okay, someone asked, and sorry, nope, we don't have a name with this one. How badly do you think Jester's faith in the Traveler has been shaken after her time with the Iron Shepherds? I just think it's related, because do you think now would be a good time for her to, like, maybe at her next level do a different class, because she's sort of feeling separate from the Traveler?
Yeah, so context on that.
Posed a question on a question. I'm terrible, I'm sorry.
Also, like the little context, she leaves the like tent, goes sits with her notebook, and like doesn't know what to draw. So she's just like, "Why weren't you there?" to the Traveler, and that's a really sad and touching moment. But I love that there's always some sort of faith questioning character in every group.
I have it here. It's why didn't you come?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So cute and sweet and sad, and you can see literally the other players are all like,
Yeah, because they're like, oh, she's gonna draw something funny, but no, it's not. I feel like her friendship with Nat would make her go rogue. Like,
I like that.
level 1 rogue.
Yeah, I think she would too. I mean, it would
For
kind
their
of fit.
detective
And, like,
agency.
Exactly.
yeah, and I mean, multi-classing into rogue is like great anyway. It's one of the best classes to just like dip a level into. So I feel like it'll happen at some point in this campaign.
Mm-hmm. So I do like that. That's a fun one. Yeah.
Where do we think, like, how much do you think she's gonna start questioning her faith now? Because, like, she's never been alone and not been able to talk to the traveler until, like, this moment.
Yeah, like Fool in Chat said, I think she was shaken. I agree. I think that she was pretty shaken by this. Like you said, Matt, she's always sort of had that. Like, and it's more important to her than I think it would be to some people, where she like grew up with no friends. Do you mean she grew up with nothing? All she had was supposedly this friend, the traveler, right? So it means a lot to her that he
Like,
was always
her
there.
one friend was not there when she
Was
needed
not
him.
there when she like really needed him. She was probably like, you know what I mean, in her head praying to him and not hearing anything back. And I think she's pretty shaken, but I also think because she's Jester and she is truly sweet to her core, I think she'll be very shaken for a very short time, and she'll shake it very quick. Like, I think she'll get back to it
As soon as she
very
gets
fast.
any one sort of sign, she'll be like, okay, everything is fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. I love you. Oh my god, you're so handsome. Like, done.
Yeah.
She'll be good again.
I like, so Uncle Ook says a rogue inquisitive, because we were talking about her doing the detective agency. If she does, and makes it up to like level 3, she gets an ear for deceit, where anytime she makes an insight check, she would treat anything 7 or lower as an 8 instead on the d20.
That's cool.
And then eye for detail, she can use a bonus action to make a perception check to spot a hidden creature, and then make an investigation check to decipher clues.
That's good, because she was already the one that spotted the drow outside the cart this time. So she is already fairly perceptive. I think, and I really love, like, there's so much fun in her playing the detective with her and not. I think like a little, like a level or 2 of rogue could be a lot of like fun flavor and add to that whole dynamic. A lot.
Yeah, the blue tiefling instead of the pink panther. Let's see if this one's...
They also, Jester and Caduceus both got an extra Channel Divinity at level 6, so now they can use it twice a day.
Which is always super useful. Turn undead all day. Bo. What did Bo get? Bo, and it all's there, yay. She has Mind of Mercury now.
Okay.
So it's, you've honed your awareness. Matt, you're terrible at this. You can take a number of additional reactions each round equal to your intelligence modifier at the cost of 1 key point per reaction beyond the first. So, as a sentinel, and with this, if she wanted to, and like she has like 4 people around her, and they all try to run away to go attack someone else, she could like sentinel and stun them all if she wanted to.
Wow.
Which would be super fun to see.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen anything that gives you like more reaction time to do things. So this is like a really neat thing. Yeah, the mobility control that she would have using that would be ridiculous.
That is very exciting, and I love getting to see, more of our Matt original characters, which you obviously aren't going to get to see much anywhere else. So that's always exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one off the screen because I used the wrong your. Who do we have left? We have Caleb and
She has more stuff.
at level 6.
Yeah, man.
Did I miss it? Or
What?
did I just stop
Share,
reading?
share. Tell.
What should she have?
She's one of the people that got a
She
max
has
HP roll, I
Extort
think.
Truth.
Oh shit! I did miss that one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I failed.
Which is kind of like the extract aspects, except it's more like Zone of Truth now, where she just has to hit them a couple times, and she can choose to not actually deal damage when she does it, and basically cast Zone of Truth on them. They can of course not speak if they want, but yeah, they have to make a charisma save, and if they fail, then they can't lie.
That is very cool. I'm excited to see her use more stuff like that because she hasn't had a lot of luck when she's used it in the past, but I don't want that to dissuade her from using things in the future. Because I really want to see more of these abilities because I think they're really fun. I remember one of the few times she actually managed to like get a hit and try and like extract points. It was like it has no particular resistances or weaknesses or anything like that, so nothing.
Fist of truth.
They changed a little bit the stuff that they could do, but I mean, as monks, she also gets another key point when she levels, which is cool. And then now her unarmed strikes are magical as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So she's. This is like the big monk power spike because now you can do damage and avoid resistances and shit.
Mm-hmm. That's not what I was gonna talk about. Okay.
Do it. What do you got?
No, I can't.
No, you can too.
Well, I guess we're not a PG chat. It's just the joke that everyone made that she leveled up by quote unquote entering new territory like in WoW, and now she has magical hands, which she is I
don't get it.
Okay, I'll explain it to you later.
We're gonna mute ourselves real quick.
We're gonna talk about it afterwards, Herc.
Yeah. Fun.
Okay.
And now you got it. Yeah, we're all caught up now.
Awesome, cool.
Last one or two more, because I was wrong with that. So Ford now has a fun new thing as a hexblade called Accursed Spector. Basically, when he slays a target, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
When he slays a target, he can temporarily bind them to his service, and they become a specter. They get additional temporary hit points equal to half his wizard or warlock level. It has its own initiative, and it obeys verbal commands, and it gains a special attack bonus equal to your charisma modifier. So, it's gonna be... I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think at least the first couple of times everybody's gonna be freaked the fuck out by it. Because it's just like, we killed him. Why is he... What have you done? Why are you doing this?
I think it's awesome. Like, it's so cool, and it's going to be real weird when he uses it first. But then they'll get used to it, and it'll be great. He'll probably name it, like, Jester will probably name it every time like, the Spectre comes up. Because it's the spirit of the dead body, so it's not going to be, like, one single pet. But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Jester just names them all the same thing.
So sorry, how does it work? Does it like they don't keep the one, like it just appears and it vanishes shortly thereafter?
You have it, it cropped off the rest of it. You have it for until you take a long rest.
Yeah, it follows you around for a while.
It follows you. Like if you do it first thing in the morning, you have a Spectre all day until it dies, or until you...
Awesome! So they're gonna have a little friend!
Now, it can't talk, so like if they try to use it as an interrogation method, they're not gonna really get anything out of it. Like I'm gonna kill you and then make your Spectre tell me things. No, that isn't gonna work.
It just has to assist you.
Yeah.
The cool thing of note is that it's until the end of your next long rest, so you can like have it like do watch for you.
That's so handy. I need you to watch the camp for me. We're all going to sleep night. Like that's awesome.
And you can only do it once per long rest, so you can't like keep killing things and getting an army of specters.
Okay. Neverwinter Fool thinks Not will definitely be the one to freak out.
See, I'm still on the fence. So we have a Grave Cleric, and their whole like the Grave Cleric's thing is the transition from life to death, and like how undead are just unsightly blemishes on the world. And he kind of touched on that in this episode when they're talking, or when he gets his blood taken by the Tabaxi, and he's like, I want to use my Eyes of the Grave to see if there's any undead, because that's like creepy shit. And that confirms there's nothing, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to take some coaxing to get Cade used to it. I think he's going to be ultimately okay with it eventually, but I think initially, because it's not like the body coming back to life, he can still decompose the body. I think he'd be fine with
that's actually quite interesting. So like they slay it, and then Ford can lift the spirit, and then Caduceus can decompose the body, and then will that make him feel better about it? Like, is his issue with natural order. I guess we'll find out. I guess
don't
it's very
know.
interesting. Like that's very exciting. I'm interested to explore this whole thing. I feel like he wouldn't be. I don't know. He's very like cool with death.
I
He's
feel like
very,
he'll be freaked out for like a few minutes, and then as soon as he realizes that like everything's cool and it's under his control, and especially if it like since it goes away within a day, he'll probably just be like, yeah, that's nice.
So I'm just excited for like the in-game thing because I don't know if in-game they're gonna RP that they have or that Ford has all this knowledge. Like he can do this and it's for a day. Like is this thing gonna follow me around forever?
Or is he gonna be surprised too? Like is he gonna be like, I don't know what's happening?
Since this campaign is so flavorful, do we think there's gonna be any sort of like visual flavor to the specters? Like are they gonna have one eye that's this little like single
Do
slit?
you think
in
it'll
it?
be relevant to each death? Do you think it'll be like completely different each time, or
He's like a drippy specter. Yeah, that could
Ooh,
be
yeah,
something.
Kate said drippy specter. What I want is for. I feel like I might be echoing again, which I'm sorry. I'll turn down. What I want is for Caduceus and Ford to sit down over a nice cup of tea and have a discussion about, the state of these spirits and their bodies and letting the souls rest. I want them to very like casually discuss necromancy and like this is what I want
This
now.
whole thing you're doing is upsetting the natural order. Yeah, I don't know. Like the flavor wise, it could be the way they died. It could be like maybe Matt will like have them mimic a way somebody from Ford's past died. I don't know. I'm excited. Any dead time tea? Okay. We're back to this. Excellent.
Dead time tea.
Pirate Ghost, like a lost sailor, salty specter. Travis has one playing Ford as like what the crap just happened. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. Like I guess I can bring
Yeah.
things back to life for a little bit, or just have a specter following us.
Yeah, because I feel like half the time Ford doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Right? So I do feel like that's gonna end up playing out kind of like that. I am kind of curious to see it and interested. So.
And the last one is Caleb. Caleb has some new spells, and he also can make a transmuter stone.
Yeah,
And
the
it cut off
transmuter
things
stone.
again. Okay, so this new
Which
thing
he did and has been planning for a little while. He took that rock. And
Yeah, trying to find that.
he knew it was coming.
Good circle rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
So he now has a transmuter stone, and I guess he talked to Matt about what he wanted to do with it initially, because he's like, I have it, and it's set the way we talked about, or something to that effect.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's on the screen is basically all that it does. There are 4 options originally, and then the only other thing is that
If you make a
you
new
can
one,
change the
take this away.
effect when you cast a transmutation spell. So I guess the main question is there are 4 things on the screen that this transmutation stone can do, which is give someone dark vision up to 60 feet, increase their speed by 10 feet, give them proficiency with constitution saves, or resistance to an elemental damage. And basically whoever's holding that stone, and I don't expect Caleb to really ever give that to anyone
Yeah.
yet, basically as long as they have it on their person, they have that effect.
And
So
are we voting? Are we saying what we think it might be?
Go.
Yeah,
Dark
mean,
vision.
yeah, of course.
Always.
He's just giving himself dark vision.
Yeah. Now he can be with a group.
100%.
He doesn't
Does
have
it have to stay one thing though, or can it change?
So you can
It can
change
change.
it if you make a new one by spending 8 hours to create one, or when you cast a level 1 or higher spell, you can change what it does.
Transmutation spell specifically.
Yes, transmutation spell.
So anytime he casts a transmutation spell, he can change the effect of the stone.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty easy to do then. Because I remember very, very early on in this new campaign, there was some discussion about, like, what is Caleb's deal? What's his backstory? Why is he a transmutation wizard?
What's the deal with transmutation
What's
wizards?
the deal with transmutation? And I remember that was the first time that the transmuter stone was brought to my attention. And there was some discussion about the possibility of it being needed to, like, heal? Or is that another transmuter stone? To get rid of... Is that not disease? Is that the other stone?
That's probably later. Yeah, later, once you're 14th level, you can do Panacea, which will remove any curse, disease, or poison from the affected creature you touch with the stone.
I don't remember. Maybe, but, because he's transmutation, it seems like, not has hooked onto him because she wants to be changed, right? Like she wants.
Yeah, that's everyone's thought from the beginning of why he went this and why not is fascinated with him, because everyone thinks that she wants to like not be a goblin anymore.
Yeah. That's something that she's sort of like said, and when he talks about his own sort of stuff, he talks about wanting magic that's so strong that it can change like reality, like that it can change like he wants to almost change the past when he talks about it, right? Like
yeah, he's trying to get into that.
That's not something happening anytime soon.
He's trying to get into that time travel magic. Which ain't none of that exists except for time stop.
Nope.
Yeah, so that is, unless there's something else wizardy that he gets just from being a wizard, I don't think there is.
Spells. So he got, at least one new spell, and can change an old one.
So we know he has Lehman's Tiny Hut now.
Yeah, he did use that. He also gets another 3rd level spell slot, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, we assume that his newest spell is Lehman's Tiny Hut, unless he changed one of his old ones. But yeah, I mean, changing the stone. So like Dark Vision will be the most useful overall, I think. It's not the most useful right now, so I wonder if it's actually what it's set to at the moment. But I mean, it's pretty easy for him to change it. He has a few transmutation spells. It's a little bit weird because like transmutation is not a school that's used that often, and especially not within the game currently that Caleb has cast. So like the only transmutation spell that I know that he has is probably Knock and Maximilian's Earth and Grass. I don't know of any of the other ones that he has currently. Well, he has Alter Self too as well, right?
Has he used Alter Self? I know he has Disguise Self.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe we haven't seen the other ones he has handy?
Maybe. I think those are the only 2 or possibly 3 that he would have at the moment. So I guess theoretically it would be harder for him to change the stone. He couldn't just like burn a 1st level spell pretty easily to swap it, because I don't know of any transmutation spells that he has that are 1st level.
And then to touch on this, so I have an idea. What if not? Didn't start out as a goblin. I know we talked like that was the big theory at the beginning, but I think we kind of dismissed it when Not had like the big discussion about like goblin lifestyles, and then she had the
growing up in her like tribe and just not fitting in and not being able to do any of the normal goblin things.
Yeah, and then she met the halfling.
And then that's where she got a lot of.
So I'm pretty sure Not has always been a gerblin.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I guess shifting back to the episode, I don't remember where we left off, but there is a lot of talk with Ophelia. They find a lot of things. So they find a note of the Dragon Tots, who I still don't know the real name, kind of their receipts on what they're using the Iron Shepherds for. They finally get a bag of holding. They empty it out and find some fun stuff, which we meant to take notes on, but like we forgot. So if you guys know what they have, yeah,
like
there's teeth.
A lot of teeth.
They find the magic manacles.
Torture. Oh no, not torture and bully. A meat hook. A meat.
Yeah.
Really gross.
Good meat hook. They got a lot of money. They got the
a fuck ton of platinum.
Red gem. Who I think did you have that up, Herc?
Yeah, it's just an elemental gem. Matt specifically said that it's the red corundum. And then with Caleb identifying it, he also confirms that it's an elemental gem that can basically allow you to summon a fire elemental. What he doesn't tell the party is that you need to smash the gem in order to do it. So it's like a one-time use thing. And also that it just creates a fire elemental. It doesn't create a fire elemental under your command. It just makes one appear. So
okay, so it's more like a toss and run kind
so
of
it's going to be a fun, like, when Bo's like, I choose you, fire elemental. And it doesn't come out, kind of like Pikachu.
Yeah.
And then when she does smash it and just everything's on fire.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some fun use. They also get
the letter with the gold coin on it.
They get a potion of what is it? Eagle Splendor, whatever the wisdom thing is, gives you advantage on charisma checks. Yeah, the galley, the note with the galley on it is kind of the next, not really the next story beat, but kind of like a side mission, I guess they could do. They learn that there is a person named, oh god,
Marius Lapule.
Yes.
At Waymariner's Cove.
who was talking to a Ionis.
Avantika?
No, that was the person who signed the letter.
That's who signed it. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it was two. They thought it was Jonas, but the first letter's an I, so I'm thinking Ionis. They were thanking them for their help, but they needed to recover this like thing that has a slit in it.
Cloven crystal.
Yeah, and
which at first I thought of like a cloven hoof, but they mean like cleft in two.
Yeah,
they mean
like a cleaved thing.
I thought the same thing until literally just now.
But this is where it dawned on me that Ford is a crystal gem.
Oh, yep.
That's just my new theory. He's got a crystal inside of him. He can make a weapon apparate out of nothing. He can kind of change the way he looks. He's a crystal gem. It's confirmed.
Yep.
We don't have to go any further on that. But they realize that this thing on the sheet that this person, Avantika, is looking for is inside Ford. So that raises some weird questions.
I love that Jester was like, I start poking his belly, can I feel it?
And Ford's like, I'm wearing armor, you're just touching the armor. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. Like, are they now being chased for this? Like, is somebody going to come looking for it? Does anybody know that Ford has it outside of these people?
There's no reason why anyone would know that they had it.
True.
Like it's such a
it is like there is like they could come across bandits because it has kind of placed itself at the pommel of his sword. So like if they fight the right bandits, maybe they'll see it. Who knows? But that is from somebody at the Menagerie Coast. They need to return it to the person that just said, whose name I didn't write down, but then say that, you know, you have a gift for the captain. That's really all interesting stuff that happens there.
Yeah, that was the main thing. Like, I think it was really interesting that in the letter they were like, "Do this for us, we really appreciate it, and don't do it for us, and you're like effed." Like, it was so interesting, like the semi-threat in the letter.
Like we're we're real kind to the people that help us, but we're real disdainful towards the people that cross us.
And then what's interesting is that later when they're talking to the gentleman, they try and just casually throw these names out to see if he recognizes them.
We're gonna go look for Avantika. Do you know who that is? But
yeah,
and even if he did know, he's super focused on Ophelia.
Oh gosh. Stepping away from that. I think it's interesting that based on like sort of the wording of the letter, what they wanted from the letter, even where they found the cloven crystal, which was related to the gentleman, that they seemed pretty confident that the gentleman would know who this was, and he didn't. So like this person, does that mean like this person can't possibly be as big of a wheeler and dealer, or does it mean like this person thinks they're hotter shit than they are, or?
I think it's one of those things where like he's gonna wake up in the middle of the night like, did they ask about the captain? And then I don't know, it's gonna be fun. It's like, you know, the next place that they need to go explore is the Menagerie Coast. So we'll get Jester backstory next, hopefully. So Ford takes Molly's sword inside him.
Oh boy. Yep. This was an episode full of
fun in you umbligo. But yeah, he gets the sword. I want to know, because he gets different benefits each like magical item he absorbs. I don't know if this new one replaces the old one.
I mean, what do you mean by magical benefits? Like, I feel like it's just the sword, but except he can then like just make it his hexblade and can dismiss it and stuff.
Well, because like it's still the falchion. His hexblade is always going to be the falchion, but it has like the appearance of whatever other sword he's absorbed. So he had like regular sword plus whatever benefits from the first magic sword that he absorbed. And so like now, can he do that and also benefit from the abilities of the sun blade thing that he got?
I think it's basically just like attunement. Like he's just unattuning to the old sword and now attuning to this one, and now he just has this sword's abilities plus his normal hexblade stuff, like kind of combined into one.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was going to ask, like, are his abilities going to be different now? Are we gonna see something like very, very different? Does he still have his other sword? Is it also still inside him, or is it gone now? I don't.
You can only have Well, see, that's the thing with hexblades.
Can you only have one sword inside you at a time, or can he multi? I'm trying not to.
The like Pact of the Blade thing is that you can either create a packed weapon out of nothing, or you can bind with a weapon that exists and it become your pack weapon. I think you can only be bound to one thing. So like that's why I'm asking, because like Matt is flavoring it so that he has just the falchion, and then the falchion takes on like the look. It adds the look from whatever new weapon he takes to the existing falchion. I'm just wondering if he's also getting like benefits. Like if he takes a new magic sword that can cast lightning, can he also teleport and then cast lightning with it later? Like, does it stack? Or does it replace? Is it like a weapon slot in like a video game, or you add a gem to the weapon and it does fire damage, or you add a new gem and you take the old one out and it does cold damage? Jess, what are you saying in the chat?
Nothing! Don't read it out loud!
Yeah, I don't remember him saying anything about the old sword. So we might find that out if we find out like what happened to the old sword. But if that sword is gone forever, then I wonder if maybe that's just the cost of swapping to a new weapon is that the old one's gone.
It could be. This could be the first time that he learns that.
Oh, Kate in chat says he did say he felt the old sword slipping away. And see, to me that's a little bit sad. Does that lose him some connection to his patron? Because wasn't it like a gift directly from his patron or anything like that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he keeps the falchion, and it's kind of like the Final Fantasy movie where Cloud can like add another weapon and it looks like a different sword. So this would be like, oh, that weapon's gone. I'm gonna add this to my falchion now. So like he still has his original falchion sword. It's just got the flavor of the new weapon.
So now instead of having barnacles, it's going to be on fire?
I think it's always going to have barnacles. I think it's going to have barnacles and also have like a metallic sheen to it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's a hybrid weapon. Yeah, they merge, but it gets rid of the old one, I guess, and gets a new one.
It's weird. I mean, like the traditional Pact of the Blade just replaces it, and then the weapon appears at like your feet, and then it's gone. There's no bond with it anymore. But since he hasn't mentioned it before, and because this is kind of a weird flavoring of Hexblade, I don't know. We'll probably find out.
Find out eventually.
Victor in chat said the blade was metaphorical. The sword was inside him all along.
Specifically Molly's. So what other fancy things? So Ophelia
Martin.
She's super excited to travel for some reason. Make sure everybody knows that her new name is Lady Quinn Denzala of Nugvarat, and she's going to see her ailing mother in Diastock.
Yeah. I have a question there. When they requested to keep the glaive, she said, of course, but that's a favor, and now you owe me. Like, did anyone else, like...
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yes. So they owe her a favor.
They do owe her a favor.
I like how quickly she was like, oh, of course, but consider this a favor. And, like, because for half a second, I was like, oh, she's being so kind. And then she was, like, immediately like, you owe me. And I was like, ooh, what's this going to play out as later?
That's going to be fun later.
And what does everyone think of Ophelia Mardunia? We haven't gotten much of her yet. And they all discussed that I think they discussed that they weren't sure they 100% trusted her yet.
Have they aired at all the Gen Con Talk Machina panel? Because Matt talks about her quite a bit on that.
Yeah. Oh, does he?
So she is this villain that kind of came from nothing, and now she kind of still has nothing in terms of real power, but she's had this air about her that people follow her and listen to her because they're like afraid of her for some reason. So like while she kind of gives off this, villainous, like, do what I say, I command you, and if you don't, there will be grave consequences. She's kind of like, if somebody challenges her on that, they could probably win.
Oh.
I bet Caduceus would challenge her in the grave consequences.
Oh, ha-ha! This is your last episode. So yeah, no, I really like her as a character. She's interesting. I like the way her horns kind of look in my head because they go straight back and then straight up.
Yeah,
I very much like the description of her. I like how she holds herself.
That's the thing. Yes.
Based on what you've said, that like you said that she has no real power, but she's been very successful because of her like presence and capability. Perhaps I really am interested in
she,
a
like,
new
knows how to
character
use.
Like that.
Yeah, she knows how to use like what she does have. Is kind of how Matt described it.
Yeah, she seems like a crime boss, says Sundu. I'm interested in how. I don't know. I'm interested in her. I am. Like, I'm curious to see where she goes.
Yeah, I really like her. More than
Yeah.
the gentleman, probably.
Definitely more than the gentleman. So did you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you,
Sure.
because you brought it up. So the
Oh.
gentleman and Ophelia have like a weird ass relationship or something.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, basically she goes to be like sort of polite to him. I think she does the sort of like hold out hand type like thing, and he like does the thing where he like pulls her in fully, dips her, goes to give her a kiss, and she bites him. And then I think it's interesting, and then later on, Bo and Caleb are talking about the two of them, and Bo is like very much like, yeah, she's playing this dude for his power for sure. She is not interested. And even when the Mighty Nine went to speak to the gentleman and like slip in those names that we discussed earlier that were on the letter, Matt described the gentleman as not really paying attention because he couldn't keep his eyes off of Ophelia. And I think that's very interesting. And like that makes her more interesting to me, and that makes the gentleman less enjoyable to me personally. That just really rubs me the wrong way for him. So, Oh yes, FMA in chat said, "Can someone explain to Not what a water genasi is?"
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that Sam is still playing not her as still like, did we come out at a bad time? You look like you just came out of the shower. You're still all moist. Which is the interesting thing that I wanted to kind of flip back to now that I remember it now. The letter that had the galley on it had like a handprint on it, right? And that was like, it kind of looks like somebody, with greasy hands kind of held it too long. Could it have been from the gentleman who has like constantly moist hands?
I didn't even think of that. That's smart. That is a good point.
So could the gentleman be the one looking for this thing? But then the gentleman would have reacted more at the name of Antika.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Maybe it's another genasi. Maybe the captain is another water genasi.
Yeah, there's only one water genasi in the whole world.
Oh, that's right. Only one can exist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The next one just spouts out of
It's
existence.
interesting, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't put that there if there weren't a reason why it were there. But he did kind of just play it off as like, someone had greasy hands.
Yeah, he's like, maybe
can't
Lorenzo was eating something, had too much grease when he was holding it.
Too many babies he was eating.
Never.
Yeah, that's a detail that wouldn't be put into something that would happen after the fact.
Yeah, and if like
related to like Lorenzo.
And they only said that because you can actually see a handprint.
Yeah, there's a print on the prop.
So the other thing could be maybe Matt had greasy hands when he was making it, and it was
that's also very possible.
So, who knows? I guess the big thing that we've kind of skipped is they did go see Molly's grave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we mentioned it with the decompose, and that's where we lose Yasha.
But we did have, yes, Yasha.
So you wanted to talk about Yasha.
Well, we had that. We had Yasha getting to have her moment, which everyone knew was going to be the most emotional. It was a really good reason for Matt to allow her to step away from the party. It made a lot of sense. We got a really beautiful, amazing, dramatic scene with like the other people trying to go to, comfort her, and her like dark Asimar wings popping out, and they had to like back off. But what was really interesting to me was that she specifically said it happened again. And I want to know what she means by that. Like, does she blame herself for other people dying in situations like this? Is that what is happening here? Is she sort of kind of like how we got to see Ford being a little bit hard on himself earlier? Is this Yasha's version of that?
Or because Yasha, when she had her like big whisper session with Matt, it was a lot of like this town that she used to know is now covered in worms. So I'm assuming she like witnessed a lot of people dying, maybe a lot of people that she knew died. And so that was like, it happened again, somebody that I knew died.
Yeah, maybe it's this is what happens when I get close to anyone type thing. Or like...
Or inversely, could it be that she was with Molly like in one of his previous memories, lifetimes or whatever, and like specifically Molly died again?
I don't see it being that personally. Just me personally, I
Okay,
don't see
okay.
it being that one. I feel like her time with him was at the circus, and they were very, very close for their time. But I don't see I don't think there were any reasons to believe that she knew him at his past life. Like even when that was revealed to him, and he was surprised about it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear with their interactions that she didn't know anything about his past life, and she probably would have then known. I forget their name, but the
The
blood lady.
tabaxi,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, she'd be familiar with his old names and all that kind of stuff, but it seemed like she wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
okay.
So I think it was just.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like you said, Matt, that it's more related to her time at Jorhas, maybe. And I think Sundu in chat said like maybe it's related to the fact that she's a fallen Asimar, as opposed to like she is. That's the kind she is, right? She's fallen
Yes.
Yes.
with her dark wings and her abilities and everything like that.
She's the metal Asimar.
The metal, the goth angel.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're kind of at the end. So unless anybody in the chat has something else they would like to bring up, I'm gonna make sure we got through all of our questions. We had one. So Mark Hulmes has a Twitter, or said on Twitter, that Callie was going to send presents to M9 now that they're back in Zadash and can get presents. What do you think she'll send? We kind of talked about it beforehand, but I forgot that they're gonna go into a couple weeks of downtime. So it's possible that in this time that they actually have like this couple of weeks can account for, you know, mailing something, because beforehand we're like, it's going to take time, A, for Caliana to get home, B, to like send something, C, for it to arrive. But if they have a couple of weeks of downtime, it's possible they get gifts in this time.
Yeah, and that's the other real question then, is what do we think they're going to do during their downtime with all of their like loot and stuff? They have at least 1,000 gold each.
Oh gosh,
So
they got so much platinum
have-
from the gentleman.
Yeah, they
They're
have lots of
so
money to
rich.
spend. You know, some time to commission some items if they need it.
Yeah.
But what
And they
else
were
would they do in the city?
Well, just they were excited to show Pumat around the city because Pumat. What the fuck am I talking about?
Okay.
Caduceus. They were excited to take Caduceus to see Pumat, and they were excited to show Caduceus around the city because he basically hasn't left his like home cemetery graveyard area almost at all.
Which is
'cause
still
every
like,
time they mention something-
I love the whole thing that you brought up about like the maybe the graveyard people aren't dead and he's keeping them alive. That was really cool. Sorry, I just had to throw that there. I was like sidetracked when y'all were talking about that earlier. Yeah, no, I think they're just gonna get letters and maybe like a treat or two for Jester.
Caleb could go back to the libraries. Says Phil.
Caleb's gonna have like a full Kinko's membership and a library card.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. What
Yeah,
else
I mean, nothing else really sticks out.
Uh,
None of them are really like crafters, so I don't think any of them are gonna try to make anything. They're probably just gonna buy
Just
stuff.
her training with Not to start her next level in Rogue.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Maybe.
like that would be the only person that I can see multi-classing this soon. And I mean, we already know she didn't because she has her channel divinity thing, which is only level 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe somebody is like gonna train with that glaive to get proficiency in it so they can use it or something.
No one uses a two-handed weapon besides Yasha, though.
I know, but I mean, you can train at it. That's how you learn proficiencies. Is downtime you train with a weapon. They would still
Yeah, but I don't
need
think anyone
strength to use
wants
it.
to. Yeah.
Caleb lied to Kree. She's
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
pissed when
say-
she realizes Lucian is dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that could be
Sonic
interesting.
fucking chat, yeah, said that. I was wondering that too. Why did Caleb lie to Kree just to spare her from knowing that Molly was dead?
I honestly, I don't know what the motivation behind that was, because that seemed kind of shitty to like not tell someone, hey, this person that you used to know doesn't remember that life and is now dead again, so you're not ever going to get answers. I'm sorry.
Well, Caleb knows very well what it's like to lose everybody close to him and probably just wants to spare that grief on somebody.
That's what I was wondering.
But also, like, he also probably just doesn't want to talk about it.
Yes. You like brushed it off too, like, you know, if you ever run into him again, let him know. It's like, it ended on bad terms, probably not going to happen. Bye.
Oh yeah, Ook pointed out that that Ophelia did in fact say like to the gentleman that they had paid for their quest in blood. So like she had kind of publicly stated.
Yeah, and like he looked at the group and was like, oh, I know which one's missing.
Yeah.
Or which two? Well, it could be Yasha too. They could have thought. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Okay. Well, the only other thing I really liked was that Caduceus spoke to the horsies when they had to when they were letting the horsies go. He's like, I talk to them and I tell them what's going on, and I was like, yes. I was like, I want to see Caduceus just have very simple chats with all the plants and animals, because as a furbolg, you can just have those little personal chats. Just hey plant, how you doing today? Hey horsey, how's it going? Can you not kick me off today? That'd be great.
Well, cool. So we'll end it here. My name was Matt, and I still haven't thought of anything to say. But you can find me on Twitter at Matt_Abernathy.
Yeah, I'm Jess, and I'm not saying what I said at the beginning again because it was really cheesy. But you can find me at go_JG pretty much everywhere on Twitch and the Twitter and the stuff and things.
And I'm Herky. Don't follow me.
Yep. But you can follow us as a group at Critical ReRoll on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow that.
We post these as podcasts that you can get on iTunes, Google Play, Podbay, Stitcher, anywhere you get podcasts, really. These get posted on YouTube as well, so that is one thing that you can, I think, subscribe to, because we like saying, smash that motherfucking subscribe button.
Yeah, do that stuff that other more professional people tell you to do with their content. Yeah. Do that with ours, too!
If you have any questions, concerns, things we could do better, things we did bad, things that you liked, and you want to say, hey, you did this good, we like hearing that, because it gives us a reason to live.
Give us those super nice, pleasant reviews so that we feel good about ourselves inside.
Yeah. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and bye.
Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.